Hey guys, Trey Ketchum here coming at you with high-powered demo skills. And I figured it'd be easiest just to kind of walk through the presentation, do an exact kind of demo as to how I would do it with a customer, implementing a lot of the stuff that you've learned over the conference and implementing the dual close that we've already talked about. So I am going to show you guys some cookware stuff. I'm going to show you some of the things that we do in the pilot and things that we've done across our division and selling extra cookware and or selling extra Cutco, increasing your average order, hopefully increasing your closing percentage. What I do want to say before I get into the actual demo itself is don't just immediately go cold turkey and go to it. What really needs to happen is you need to become comfortable and confident with this demo. Just like the white book demo is designed to build and teach confidence, hopefully this video will help serve as a template for you to continue to go back, reflect, and utilize some of the things that you learn. You go with what you know, though. Meaning that if you're not completely confident and completely bought in yet to the idea of selling a complete set or selling the ultimate set, be completely confident in selling just the kitchen system, or be completely confident in selling just the Homemaker Plus 8. But I will say this, but the higher you start, the easier it is to get a bigger order. The more drop downs that you have available to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of run through the demo, do it like I would for a customer. Obviously, it's going to be a lot less interaction. But at least this way, you guys can kind of get a feel for about how it flows. So, so as I'm going through this, you're going to see there's going to be a lot of there's a lot of things that you may see handouts, some other stuff in the blue book, and that I've got here that may be a little bit different than yours. Your manager should have these handouts to be able to use for them. The price comparison I'm going to use is just pulled directly from WilliamSonoma.com, and you can go on WilliamSonoma.com and actually print that off if you'd like. And it's good. It's got actually a bunch of different stuff on it. So you'll see it in the blue book as I go through it. So here we go. So Ms. Jones, I do want to go ahead and thank you for really taking the time to see me today. And in fact, what I'm actually here to show you is Cutco. But before I actually show you the product, I do want to actually thank you for agreeing to see me, because like I said, I actually get paid just for doing the presentation. In fact, the company pays me a base pay rate of blank amount just to show you the product. And have you ever heard of Cutco before? Okay, cool. No big deal. A lot of people haven't. They tend to be a little skeptical at first. They tend to think if it is so high quality, why is it sold by college students and not sold in stores? So I'll tell you a little more about it. But before I tell you that, I do want to tell you that Cutco is an amazing product. It is unbelievable. And I am pretty good at my job. So don't be surprised if you see something you like. Pretty much everybody does. Okay? So, but actually the real reason why I'm working is just so you know, I'm not just a knife salesperson. Actually, the real reason why I'm working is right now I'm a college student at UNC Chapel Hill, and I'm a business major there. And the real reason why I'm working is because I'm actually trying to help get business skills for my resume. Because one day my goal is to open up my own business, and whether it be in financial planning or sales and marketing, or maybe even being the division manager of this company. One of my goals is actually to help impact people. And one of the things that I'm going to need to get good at is communication skills. I'm going to be good working with customers and be good at meeting different people. And I want to be able to give back to my community. And I'll be honest, the real reason why I'm working so hard is because my dad passed away when I was 19 years old. And one of the things that always stuck with me was had he started earlier in his career and had he gotten more serious about it, he wouldn't have had to pass up promotions and other things that he did in order to spend time with the family. And my dad, unfortunately, when he was 48, 47 rather, lost his job at the company that he was working for, and had to move away from all of us and had to move away from my family. I think ultimately that's what caused him to have high blood pressure and ultimately led to his death. And so I will tell you, and I don't say this for pity, but one of the reasons why I am working so hard right now is because I don't want to be in a situation where I ever have to pass up anything for my kids or my family or anything else. So I do appreciate you taking the time to see me today, and it really does mean a lot. As a matter of fact, I am working really hard right now in a contest It's called SC2, and one of my goals is during this contest right here is to actually sell over $15,000 really in just a short period of time. It's only 18 days, so 15,000 over 18 days. It's basically $1,000 a day, and if you want to go ahead and knock all that out right now, Ms. Jones, I'd really appreciate it. That way I could take the rest of the time and just go to the beach, but don't feel like you have to get all 15K if you don't want to. 3 or 4 would be just plenty for me today. But at the end, I will be honest, my goal is not just to sell you everything in the book, unless you want everything in the book. My goal is that at the end of the presentation, after spending some time with me and getting to know you a little bit better, that, that you refer me to some of your nicest friends, just like you would if I was your own son or daughter, because like I said, I am working really hard, and every single appointment that I do does help. And so at the end, I'll actually tell you how you could be a sponsor for my automatic sponsorship. And I will also enter you into a drawing for a $1,000 shopping spree just for taking a look. And if you want $1,000 to have fun with, what would you spend it on, Jones? It had to be it had to be fun money. What would you spend on? Okay, cool. So you go shop for some shoes, no big deal. Maybe get some Louboutins or something like that. Well, another option you could do is you could actually use it as a down payment on your set at Cutco. But to tell you a little bit about the company, like I said, a lot of people do tend to be a little skeptical at first. But to tell you a little bit about it, we've actually been in business since 1949. We sell over $250 million to Cutco annually, and we've actually grown tremendously since 2007. In 2007 we did about $180 million with Cutco, and we've been growing. And our goal is actually to be over a $500 million company. So we are the largest manufacturer of high quality cutlery here in the U.S. In addition to that, we've also been rated Best Buys by Consumers Digest and the #1 Reader's Choice Cutlery by About.com each of the years they've done Reader's Choice Awards, and we've won it every year. So we're undefeated as far as high quality cutlery goes, and we've actually had over 17 million customers, since our beginnings back in 1949. And we do like to consider ourselves kind of like the Rolls-Royce of cutlery, and the reason for that is because we are handcrafted. In fact, a lot of our steps up in our factory in Olean are still done by hand to this day. So it is really the best of its kind. Like I said, any doubt that one may have about the quality of the product, we've been rated at Best Buy by Consumers Digest multiple times, and also, like I said, we have been a Reader's Choice Award for About.com every year that they've done that. And all of our knives are handcrafted in Olean, New York, which is actually the same place where we manufacture and make all the military knives that Ka-Bar makes. Have you ever heard of Ka-Bar, Mr. Jones? Okay, yeah, you've got a Ka-Bar knife. Yeah, a lot of people have Ka-Bar knives, and any of the knives that are made for the military, Cutco actually owns Ka-Bar. Any of the knives that are made for the military, we make in our factory right with our knives. So if you know the quality of Ka-Bar, you know the quality of Cutco. And we do have a big tradition of giving back as a company as well, which is something that I'm pretty proud of. As a company, last year we gave over $655,000. $644,000 worth of charitable donations and other gift giving back to the community and other worthy charities. Some of the charities that we're working with this year are Make-A-Wish Foundation, and also Share Our Strength, and a few other local charities here, like Front Row Foundation we do in our office, as well as a couple others across the division. So, but as far as the product goes, Jones, let me show you the world's most expensive set of knives. Have you ever seen these before? Yeah, they do. I know that they actually are the most expensive, and the reason for that is because they're made with a philosophy of planned obsolescence. And we've actually found that the average family uses, spends anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 just on junk knives over time. It's unsanitary, unsafe, and unenjoyable. And the major problem, like I said, is that these knives just don't stay sharp. You could probably do this part of the presentation better than I can, Ms. Jones, but do you have mostly wooden or plastic handle knives? You have plastic handles? Yeah, no big deal. Well, with wood, as you know, looks really good when it's new, but it's also very unsanitary. It's basically like wiping down your sink with a kitchen sponge, so it's very gross. And then, and then a lot of people, because of that, went with plastic handle knives. And plastic handles aren't really much better because they're very cheap. So they chip, they crack, they break, they melt. Also, they're incredibly brittle, you know, so you can break them real easily if you're trying to cut down with force on anything. And so because of that, you know, there's really not you know, cheap plastic and wood just don't work very well. As far as the different types of steel, you've got you know, carbon steel and stainless steel. And carbon steel, we call it the will knife because it will stay sharp longer, but it'll also rust, pit, and corrode. So it's basically like cutting your food with a rusty nail. So then you have stainless steel, and stainless steel, it's not going to rust, pit, or corrode, but the problem with stainless steel is just going to go dull really quickly. And Ms. Jones, have you ever forgotten a razor at a hotel before? Yeah, you have to call down and they give you one of those little razors, a disposable razor with one blade on it. How many times can you use that? Yeah, exactly. You get through like one leg, right, maybe, before it goes dull. Well, the same thing happens with a stainless steel knife. And imagine if a hair is going to dull the edge of a razor blade, think about what a cutting board or a countertop is going to do to the edge of a stainless steel knife. You know, obviously, it's going to dull it tremendously. And then a lot of these knives are just really poorly constructed. You know, for example, they use things like partial tang, and tang is just how far back in the handle the blade goes. And if it only goes part way, you know, for example, if you take this pen right here, just go ahead and hold it with 2 fingers, just like this. Go ahead and, you know, hit it. Okay, so you see how kind of loose that is? Now grab it with the full fist, right? So if you grab it with the full fist, hit it like that. See how sturdy it is? Well, the reason it does that is because the further the steel goes back into the handle, the stronger it is. You know, the more it's going to last. And so if it only goes part way, it's going to break really easily. It's just a matter of time. And then a lot of them use rivets, like you see right here, that use cheap brass. What happens is you get those little rings around it. When you get those little rings around it, what that does, it ends up creating gaps for food particles and oxidation. And that's actually what cockroaches will feed off of. And if you've ever had your house exterminated, you know, a lot of times what will end up happening is they'll go to your pantry to go where your food is. Then they'll also check your silverware drawer, because I know a lot of times the roaches will feed off of the rivets. So they'll like crawl in like this and kind of eat on the rivets and kind of eat up in there like that. So it's really kind of gross. Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things where it's just incredibly unsanitary, and especially with having kids, it's one of those things. I mean, kids always are having germs and other stuff come around, and so because of that, that stuff can actually get up into these cheap, cheap junk knives. And so, like I said, you know, different types of blades that you're going to find. You'll see serrated edges, and serrated edges, you know, they're the ones that look kind of like this. So what happens is they end up looking, you know, like an upside down U. And what ends up happening is over time, those points will actually wear down, and they'll go dull, and they can't be resharpened, so they have to be replaced. Now with straight edges, they're going to leave a nice clean cut. But the problem with the straight edge is that you just have to constantly sharpen it. And I mean, Mr. Jones, do you or your husband sharpen your knives professionally? Okay, so your husband touches it up. Does he ever do it as often as he should? Yeah, probably not. And that tends to be the problem, I think, with most of these knives. They just never stay sharp. You know, they're constantly dull. And a dull knife is actually more dangerous than a sharp one. You know, so Mr. Jones, before I go any further, I do want to tell you that at Cutco, we did just try to, you know, we do consider ourselves to be the Rolls Royce of cutlery. Before I even go there, though, if you're going to design the perfect knife for you, meaning that if you're going to pass something down to your kids and you wanted it to really be the best, what would you want it to have to make it perfect for you? Okay, so you want to be sharp. Now let me ask you, you know, as far as maintenance and stuff, do you like having to hand wash them, or do you just throw them in the dishwasher? Okay, so you want something dishwasher safe. All right. What about as far as the handling material? Do you want something that's going to be porous, or something's going to break easily? Okay, no, so you want a good handle on it. Okay, cool. And all right, so it's going to stay sharp, be dishwasher safe, have a good handle on it, and all right, cool. Anything else that would matter? Okay, you want something that cuts for you? All right, no big deal. Let's see what we can do here. Well, let me go ahead and show you how Cutco has kind of solved all these problems. And and then so this shows. Right. You know, this is our petite carver, and what do you notice that's different about that? Yeah, it actually fits your hand. So there's actually 5 features that make Cutco the Rolls Royce of cutlery. And the first feature is actually the universal wedge lock handle. It's designed by a guy named Thomas Lamb. He set over 700 pairs of hands when he came up with it. It's actually, you know, he dedicated his entire life's work to developing hand-perfect tools. Everything from crutches for kids with polio to knob shifts on sports cars to developing our handle. He dedicated his entire life to it, and we actually commissioned him. We paid him a fee for every single knife that we sold, so he made tons of money by coming up with this handle for us. And it's a very expensive design to use. It costs us a lot of money, but it was worth it because it's gonna fit in your hand. So if you go ahead and hold it out like you're gonna cut something, okay, yeah, go ahead and hold it right there. All right, cool. So you see, as I tug it, what's happening? Yeah, it's staying. Your whole shoulder is moving with you. Well, the reason it does that is because of that wedge lock handle. It actually locks your thumb and forefinger into place. And the reason this is so important is your thumb and forefinger are actually the strongest two fingers that you have. So you have more grip strength in this finger than you do in the other. So by locking into place there and then just kind of wrapping your hands around it, it allows for a lot more control, comfort, and safety. So it works really well even for people that have arthritis or starting to develop carpal tunnel. I know my mom's a pharmacist and starting to develop arthritis in her hand just over the years, and she loves the fact that she can come home from work and still be able to use it and prepare food even after working third shift all night. So that is one of the things I love about it, is that it does work perfectly for people that have a little bit of arthritis. So it fits any size hand, right, left, big, or small. The next feature is actually the thermoresin handle material. And thermoresin is not a cheap wood or plastic. In fact, it's a very expensive material to use compared to those, but it's going to be worth it because it's going to last. And it's actually designed, it's the same type of material that they use in the inside of dishwashers for propeller blades. And so if you think about it, Ms. Jones, do you want to have to constantly be hand washing your stuff? No. Or even worse, you want to have to watch it slowly deteriorate just because you don't feel like hand washing it. What's great about our handles is that they're actually designed to go into the dishwasher for 30, 40, 50 years. And that's one of the things that's nice about it. They also use it for ski bindings, for downhill skiing. So it's a very durable, very strong material that you're going to find in the handle design. In fact, we actually call it kitchen tough. As far as the construction, we use a full tang nickel silver rivet construction, and so it costs a lot of money to put the steel all the way through the handle, but it's worth it. In fact, it does actually double the steel in a lot of our products. So for our set, you're paying almost double because of the amount of steel that's in it, but it's worth it because it's actually going to keep it a lot stronger and a lot more balanced as well. Now the nickel silver rivets, again, the thing that's nice about nickel silver is they're not going to expand or contract. So you can pass this down to your kids, they can pass it down to their kids, and it's still going to remain flush. So 30, 40, 50, 60 years from now, they're still going to be flush with the handle, which works out great. The fourth feature is the high carbon surgical stainless steel blades. And we use the most expensive steel that we could find to use for our knives. And the reason that we use that is because we wanted our sets to be the best. Like I said, we wanted our sets to be the best of both worlds. So, it's like stainless. It's not going to rust, pit, or corrode. But like high carbon stainless steel, or like high carbon steel, it's going to keep its edge. So not only is it going to perform well, it's going to stay clean and durable too. So I know earlier you mentioned that you wanted something that's going to have a good handle. How did you like the handle? Is that something that fits well? Okay, cool. I know you said you also wanted something that's dishwasher safe, and as I mentioned with the thermoresin handle construction, it is dishwasher safe. And then you did mention that you wanted something that's sharp, because the most important thing is, of course, that it is sharp. So what I want you to do is let's go ahead and use the straight edge and the serrated edge over here. Okay, so let's go and use the serrated edge first. Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and count just to kind of keep count. Okay, so 5 strokes, perfect. All right, now go ahead and use the straight edge. All right, and the reason we're using rope, by the way, is because it is tough and fibrous like vegetables and cooked meats. I'd use chicken, but like I said, I'm a broke college kid, and so plus it would stink in my car, which would be kind of gross for my appointments, and I don't want to freak you out with how I smell. So that's why I use rope, because it's tough and fibrous like vegetables and cooked meats. Also, it's not going to hurt the knives at all. So so go ahead and use the straight edge. Okay, so 25, 20, okay, perfect. Now, as you notice, so with the straight edge, it leaves a nice clean cut. And that's one of the things that's nice about a straight edge. Now, at the end here, Ms. Jones, go ahead and use your Cutco. All right, cool. Now let's go ahead and count there. Go ahead, same thing, start at the back, press down real hard, pull all the way through. Okay, cool, so 1 stroke. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Yeah, and so one of the great things about Cutco is because of this edge that it has, it's a unique feature. It pretty much cuts for you, so it works really well. Be able to get through pretty much anything. And so you see how much time that's going to save you in the kitchen, Ms. Jones? Well, that's exactly why we developed that edge. And it's not, the reason it cuts so well is because it's actually not serrated. As you see right here, it's actually got 3 straight edges that are protected by the points. So for example, the way we showed you on the other one with the upside down U's, this is actually designed a little bit differently. So what happens here is it actually is going to cut, I don't know if you see right here, it's going to cut forwards, backwards, and straight down. So that way it surrounds everything it's cutting. And the points actually protect the edges from being on the cutting board, and it lifts them up. So what's going to end up happening is even over time, as these points start to wear down, it's still going to have the 3 edges in between. And so that's one of the great things about Cutco is that not only does it have a cleaner cut and a better edge, but it's going to stay that way for a lot longer. In fact, the average, the average knife, like I said, is going to go dull within about 1 to 2 years. But with us, because of the way unique feature, the way the edge is designed, it'll stay sharp for about 10 years or so, which is about 14 times longer than a normal knife. Obviously, if you're using it less frequently, it can stay sharp for like 20, 30 years. And I've had customers that have had their knives for 20 years and never had them sharpened. If you're using them every single day, 21 meals a day, yeah, you might, after 5, 6, 7 years, need somebody to come touch it up for you. But one of the great things about Cutco, better than anything else, is the guarantee. And if this knife costs $500, what type of guarantee would you expect it to have? Okay, lifetime? Well, we do actually have one a little bit better. But before I show you that, these are a couple of my testimonials from customers that have owned Cutco for a while. And we've got customers that have had it here for 5 years, 10 years. There's even this one here that's actually had it for 25 years, which I thought was pretty cool. And she uses it every day, and she even says that while it was a lot of money at first, she's so glad that it's actually the best investment that she's ever made. So I thought that was kind of cool. But like I said, if this knife's cost $500, I know you'd expect to have a lifetime guarantee. Well, we actually do have one a little bit better. It's called our Forever Guarantee. And I'm not going to waste your time by going over all this stuff individually. I just want to cover the main points for you. So the first one is Forever Performance. Just anytime it ever goes dull, you just send it back to the company and they'll fix or replace for, or sorry, if it ever, anytime it doesn't perform like it's brand new, you can just send it back to the company and they'll fix or replace for free. So what that means is 30 years from now, if you're, deboning a chicken or you're carving up a turkey or something like that, and somehow you tip the chip of your blade off, let's say it falls on the floor or something, or it gets wedged down in the sink and you try to grab it out and it kind of snaps the tip off. Well, what you can do is you can actually send it back to the company and they'll send you a brand new one for free. Now, next point of our sets is they actually have the Forever Guarantee. It has Forever Sharpness as well. And the way the Forever Sharpness works is that anytime it ever needs to be sharpened, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, heck, you could do it every year if you really wanted to. You could send it back to the company, they'll polish the steel, buff the handles, polish the rivets. The only thing you'd have to pay for is the shipping. So what's pretty cool about that, Ms. Jones, is that, like I said, it's going to stay sharp for about 10 years used regularly. But let's say, like I said, you're real OCD about having everything look brand new all the time. Like I said, you can send it back every year and the company will still take care of all the labor and the man hours that it takes to do this by hand to get these things restored to brand new quality. And if they can't restore it to brand new quality, they'll just replace it with brand new ones, which I think is pretty awesome. The next part here is the Forever Replacement Gear for Misuse or Abuse. And this is for all like the husbands in the world that like to use knives when they're not supposed to, or for all the kids that like to take things out and try to saw down fence posts or do other things with them. Well, what's great about that is if somebody destroys it, by misusing it, they can actually get a brand new one for half price, which I think is pretty fair. But between you and me, Mr. Jones, the company's going to take care of you. So as long as you say it was just no more wear and tear, the company's going to go ahead and replace it for free. And that's one of the things I love about the product is that they always end up taking care of the customers. And then the last part here is a 15-day unconditional money-back guarantee. And I love this, Mr. Jones. The reason why I love this one is because I never have somebody tell me they need to think about it. Because of this 15-day unconditional money-back guarantee, because it allows you to try everything out for 3 weeks. If you're not completely satisfied with everything, you can send it back for a full refund. And so that's one of the things I love about it. And I know your husband couldn't be here today, but one of the great things, like I said, is that you get to choose whatever you feel like you guys would use the most. And if for whatever reason there's anything he doesn't like or you don't like, you can send that part back to get a full refund on that. So it is one of the great things about Cutco is that you're protected and it's risk-free. And one more thing, Ms. Jones, I'll also give you my own personal guarantee. And if you have your cell phone, can you grab out your cell phone real quick? Okay, cool. Could you go to, can you go in there into your address book and put underneath the letter C for Cutco, go ahead and put my name and phone number. I do this for every single one of my customers. So that way, if you ever need anything sharpened, if you ever need help with anything at all, you'll know how to get in touch with me. I do this for every single one of my customers. And as I told you, I also, I'm working really hard towards a scholarship and towards my contest for the summer. And so I also want to know everybody that, I want to be able to keep in contact with all of my customers so I can thank them after I hit my goals. So, so thank you for doing that. Now, before we go any further, I do want to let you know that my two most popular sets are actually the basic and the complete. And to find out which one would be better for you, I just want to ask you a couple quick questions. The first question is this: how many nights a week do you cook? Is it 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 4 to 5? Okay, cool. So about 1 to 2. Okay, perfect. So you're about average. Now, secondly, you cook because you like to, because you have to, or a little bit of both? Okay, cool. So a little bit of both. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you sound just like my Aunt Mary. My Aunt Mary, she just got remarried. She actually has the complete set now, and she doesn't have to cook all the time. There's certain times with a couple kids, when kids come over, it's easier, way easier for for them to be able to prepare food than having to do it, and having to go out and eat all the time. And at the same time, she does like to prepare food as well. She has a couple of her signature dishes that she really likes. Do you have anything that you're really good at making, Ms. Jones? Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you sound just like my Aunt Mary. And then the third question I've got for you is, if you're entertaining, how many place settings would you need? 8, 12, or 16? Or would you need more like 20 or 30? Okay, cool. So 12 would get you by. Okay, perfect. Well, what I'm going to do then is actually go ahead and start off by showing you our complete set, because, like I said, we have our basic and our complete. Our basic pretty much just comes with all the basic tools you're going to see right here. It's basically 8 knives, a couple forks, that sort of thing. The complete set is actually our normal basic tools plus our top 10 customer requested knives. And so I want to talk to you about that a little bit. So it actually comes with a couple different little sets within it. It's got the 2 paring knives, and these paring knives are awesome. You got the regular 2 3/4 inch paring knife for you. It also has a 4-inch paring knife there for your husband. The reason is because you have one that you're going to use exclusively in the air, and then the 4-inch paring knife you can actually use it on the cutting board. So I know I've seen a lot of wives get upset at their husbands for using the paring knife on the cutting board, and maybe you do that too. Well, now you actually have one that's designed to be used like that, and that's the other 4-inch paring knife. The other reason I like it is because you can use it to kind of quarter the apple too. So, do you ever eat apples at all, or do any type of paring? Okay, perfect. Yeah, pretty much everybody does. So that's our those are our paring knives there. The next one we have are our utility tools, and our utility tools are our trimmer, like you see right here. We also have our Hardy slicer, and our Hardy slicer is kind of like the trimmer on steroids. But these are going to be used for getting through things on the cutting board. So a little small, for example, your trimmer here is going to be great for lemons, limes, and oranges. Do you ever eat any of those? Oranges for the kid, or limes maybe for margaritas or anything? Okay, yeah, so this is going to be perfect for that. Your Hardy slicer right here is going to be awesome for those aggressive cuts that you're trying to get done. So, for example, I like to use it for frozen chicken, just to be able to chop up just take frozen chicken right out of the freezer and slice it up, so that way you can throw it and make fajitas. Also works really great for summer sausage and rolled meats. You guys ever have that out when you're entertaining? Yeah, these are perfect for that. The next tools that come in this set, or the next little mini set that you're going to find within it, are going to be some of your entertaining tools. And your entertaining tools in this case are going to be your spatula spreader and your cheese knife, as well as your bread slicer. So it comes with your entertaining tools, and with your entertaining items, this is going to be for when you're having company over. Your cheese knife is pretty obvious. It's got the holes cut in there, so that way you have it for cheese. You got your spatula spreader, which is going to be for all your desserts and stuff like that you're going to need to cut, spread, and cake. And then you've got your petite slicer and your regular slicer. Your regular slicer is 9 inches long, and that's actually used to be able to go through a whole cake, because the average cake is 9 inches across. So if you're layering a cake or you're celebrating a birthday or anything like that, the slicer is going to be the one you use to cut the cake. And then you could serve it with the spatula spreader. The petite slicer, that's going to be used for your dinner rolls, and when you're entertaining, that's the slicer you're actually going to leave out with the bread rolls and stuff at dinner. So that works out great for that. Now the next two tools that we have are going to be for your raw fish and the raw meats, and that's going to be your boning knife and your salmon knife. And so that's going to be for your raw cuts of meat. So your boning knife is kind of like an indoor fillet knife. It's perfect for raw chicken and also butterfly and pork chops. And the salmon knife is going to be amazing for obviously for any type of fish. You have that really thin blade to get right underneath of it. And then also it's going to be good for leftover steak. So you could use it to cut up leftover steak and make Philly cheese steaks. So those are kind of your raw meat knives. In addition to that, you're going to have your carving sets. You got a little mini carving set right here. Your everyday carving set is going to be good for anything under 5 pounds. It's got the T-carver and the turning fork. So that's going to be really great for if you ever eat, like, for example, do you ever eat Publix chicken or any of those little, or Kroger chicken, the little ones you get in the bags? Yeah, this is going to be perfect for that. Also for little small meatloafs and other things. And then you got your larger carving set, your master carving set, and that one's actually going to be used more so for your meats over 5 pounds. So when you have, for example, honey baked hams or the big hams for Thanksgiving, you're not going to use it all the time, but whenever you're entertaining, you'll be glad to have it. And I've always found it's better to have something and not always need it than to need it and not have it. And then on the next ones that you've got in the set are going to be your chopping knives. And so your chopping knives, it actually comes with a Santoku, a vegetable knife, and a petite chef. The reason it comes with those three is, the chef knife is going to be used for obviously normal, chopping and dicing and mincing and stuff like that. Your vegetable knife is going to be your heavy-duty one for your thicker vegetables like bok choy, bell peppers even, anything that you just want to chop up and then scoop up and put it in. And then your Santoku, that one's going to be that's the one you see like Rachel Ray use and stuff like that, but that one's also there for anybody else to come over and use. Or if you ever can get your husband into the kitchen to help you prepare food, that's going to be the one that he'll probably try to grab and use just because it looks pretty cool. Then the last two that we've got here are really your money saver and your heavy duty items. And your money saver and your heavy duty are going to be your watermelon and your cleaver. The reason why is if you buy your food whole and break it down, it saves you a lot of money. So that's what the butcher knife is going to be used for. The butcher knife is going to be used for breaking down large fruits like melons, papaya, even pineapple, and then your cleaver is going to be used for breaking down large meats. And so that's going to be used for anything with bone, rack or rib or any of the other heavy rack of lamb. You got the big full ribs. You can use those to break that down. Your big hogs or anything else is going to go. It'll go through coconut, super durable, super strong. It's 1.5 pounds of steel. It's really going to be it's going to do some big moves for you in the kitchen. So that's going to be your heavy duty items there. And the great thing about the complete set is the complete set also comes with the shears, which you obviously saw and used in the beginning, which those are going to be great from everything for the normal stuff, but it's also good for in the kitchen when you're preparing food. I personally think it's the world's best crab leg opener because you can just take that thing and snip right through crab legs like it's nothing. And the set also comes with 12 table knives or steak knives, whichever one you prefer. Do you think your husband would like the steak knives or the table knives more? Okay, cool. He just likes the little table knives. Perfect. Well, we actually have those here that I can show you. So, so this is how it works here on a piece of leather. Perfect. Cool. All right, and so that's our complete set. Now let me show you a couple other items real quick here. So the next ones we got are our entertainer pack, which you see right here. It's got the 4 soft comfort grip handles. It's got the ice cream scoop, which can be for ice cream. You got your pizza cutter, which is going to be excellent for that. For pizza, you've got your cheese knife, which this is a soft grip cheese knife, so that way when you're having a party and stuff, you just kind of throw this one out there. It's real easy. It also comes with a vegetable peeler. The vegetable peeler is phenomenal as well. I actually have one here that you can test out on the carrot real quick. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and test that out. And by the way, Ms. Jones, go ahead and grab, while we're out there grabbing stuff, let's also grab some of these other items so I can show you how the other tools work. Okay, cool. So, all right, perfect. So it works pretty awesome, huh? All right, now we also have kitchen tools to kind of complement your set, and the kitchen tools come with a design called the Chef's Curve. And the way that works, it actually has a little gooseneck to it, so that way you can kind of get over and into pots without having to reach over the steam. So when you turn it over, you can kind of stir it while being outside of the pot. And the other thing that I like about it is you can actually prop it, you know, right on top. So like, let's say that your kids or somebody like that are going crazy, you can just prop it right on top, so that way it's not going to fall off. And the other thing that is great about our sets is that all of our sets come with a solid storage block. And I noticed that over there on your counter you don't have a block, and so the block really does a lot more than just look good on your countertop. It protects your knives. It also protects you from keeping that. If you had a Rolls Royce, Ms. Jones, where would you park it? Would you park it in the street or would you park it in the garage? Yeah, you park it in the garage. So with Cutco you got the Rolls Royce cutlery. So these are your garages. They're made out of solid Eastern U.S. oak. So they're very heavy. They're very heavy duty, and they're going to be very durable. They're going to last forever. We treat it with a resin on the outside of it, so it's not going to absorb stuff. Now, obviously, you wouldn't throw this in the dishwasher with your knives, but it's going to stay looking beautiful for a really long time. And so, Ms. Jones, there's a reason why so many people choose to invest in Cutco, and one of the things is that you'll always have a sharp knife. You always have the right tool for the task at hand. It's guaranteed forever, which basically means it's the last set of knives you'll ever have to buy, and it works better than anything else you're going to find in your kitchen. There's also a reason why so many people choose to invest in sets. For one, sets are discounted, so you get a better price. Two, sets do come with free stuff. Sets also come with awesome storage options, like you see right here. And also, sets do come for the right tool for the right job, which makes it safer, more enjoyable, and easier to use. And so, Mrs. Jones, most people haven't had the opportunity to price find cutlery. It's like anything else. There's a wide variety of quality and prices available. Now, I'm sure you'd agree that we could not compare Cutco to a cheap set of knives sold in a local bargain store. So what I actually have here is a price comparison for a set of knives that could be considered comparable to Cutco. It's called Wusthof and Shun. And have you ever heard of Wusthof and Shun before? No, you haven't? Okay, well, these are actually just featured right here. This is just printed off directly from the Williams-Sonoma catalog. And they are very high-quality sets made overseas. And they have almost everything you'd look for in a set of cutlery. They have full tang, polypropylene handles, high-carbon stainless steel blades. They're very sharp, and they're the top-selling brands you're going to find in stores. Now, as you can see, the price for this Hinkle set, or sorry, this Wusthof set, is normally $3,325. And the price for this Shun set is $4,807. Now you can find them on sale for somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $3,300, and they are worth it. But let me show you how Cutco compares against them. There are, however, some differences between Wusthof and Cutco. For example, with Wusthof, their handles have regular straight handles, whereas Cutco has that universal wedge lock handle. Secondly, their handles have to be thrown in the dishwasher or have to be hand washed and are not dishwasher safe, whereas Cutco has that thermoresin handle, which is dishwasher safe. Thirdly, they have straight edges that have to be constantly sharpened, whereas Cutco has that universal or that trademark double D edge that stays sharp for 10 years. And fourthly, their products come with just regular guarantee against manufacturer's defects. Whereas Cutco has that forever guarantee, which covers forever performance, forever sharpness, placement agreement, misuse and abuse, and that 15-day unfinished or money-back guarantee. Now, if you talk to people that own Cutco, they'll tell you it's 10 times better than any knives they've ever used. And I know you haven't had a chance to use that much yet, but considering the guarantee and unique features, most people would agree that Cutco is at least twice as good as Wusthof. Well, when a product offers twice the quality and twice the value, you'd expect it to be twice the price. And so at twice the price, you'd be talking over $4,000 for your basic set and $8,000 for your complete. But let me show you what you get. As I mentioned, these are our two most popular sets, the basic and the complete. The complete set comes, the basic set comes with just kind of the basic eight tools with 2 forks that you're going to see, pretty frequently. The complete set, though, actually comes with all the regular basic tools, It also comes with the top 10 customer requested items that I showed you as well. And we found that one of these sets appeals to just about everybody. Now, the beautiful thing about Cutco is that it's not over $4,000 and $8,000, although it would be if it were sold in stores. As a matter of fact, the complete set isn't even as much as you would expect the basic set to be at $4,000. And so the complete set is only this much right here, right? $23.69. But we can actually break it down over 5 months interest free, so it only end up being this much here today, $509. And so if you think about it, it's a little bit over $125 a week. So basically, like taking the family out to get something to eat. And the basic set, in that case, that's only $14.69. $14.69, you're talking a little over $300 a month. Okay. Now, if you were even considering a set at Cutco, would you prefer the basic set or the complete set? Okay, so you like the complete set? Okay, great. Now let me go ahead and show you a couple of things that some people like to do. These are a lot of our accessories. And Ms. Jones, how is your cookware? How is your cookware? Okay, your cookware is fine. Okay, no big deal. Well, I'm assuming that you're probably going to do what most people do, which is go ahead and complete your set by getting the forks and spoons. Did you want to go ahead and complete your set? Yeah, because if you did want to complete your set, it would only end up being, another $266 if you went with the stainless, or $169 a month if you went with the traditional with the forks and spoons that match your table knives. Okay. So which one did you like better, the stainless or the traditional? Okay, cool. You like the traditional one. Okay, no big deal. A couple other tools that I got to show you here just in the back that people really love. The good thing about your complete set is it actually already comes with all the specialty knives you see right here. It's also got the cheese knives and other stuff. We've already got your flatware, talked about that. But a couple other items that people really find popular. We have hunting knives, camping knives, sporting knives and stuff. I mean, these sporting knives are pretty awesome. Does anybody in your family hunt or fish or anything like that? Okay, no big deal. I got to show you this, though. Do you guys garden or do you have somebody do your gardening for you? Okay, cool. So you do your gardening. Okay, no big deal. Then right here you actually have our accessories. These are our barbecue tools. Barbecue tools are really popular. And if you wanted to add that, that would actually only be an extra $31 a month to your set there. And then we have some gift sets for weddings, anniversaries. Do you know anybody getting married or anything like that? No? Okay, cool. So Ms. Jones, let me tell you about our first call special. I didn't even mention that. Our first call special is where I'm actually entitled to give you free merchandise, when you place an order on my first visit. And if you were to get this set today, I'd actually be able to include an entertainer pack and a kitchen tool set for free. And so if you got that set today, you'd actually be able to get over $415 worth of stuff for free. So basically what that means, Ms. Jones, is that you're only going to put this little 1/5 down on $509, and we're going to give you $415 worth of free stuff. And then if you just wanted to go ahead and add the barbecue tools to that, it'd only be an extra $31, and the flatware itself, you'd be talking extra $200, so you'd be paying about $700 a day and getting $415 worth of free stuff. Did you want to go ahead? I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you this question. Did you want to go ahead and do that? Okay, cool. And so, guys, that's how you do the actual set comparison. Now, obviously, when you're going through and doing the names and use, you take a little bit more time. I do realize as I was walking through this, kind of in my head, I didn't stop, but I did realize that when I went over the disadvantages page, I actually covered the types of steel before I did the handle construction and the edge, or the tang and all that. Here's what I wanted to point out there. I didn't mean to do that, but at the same time, if I was in a demo, I'll be damned if I'm going to stop my demo and say, wait a minute, I should have done it this way. So you just got to go with it, and that's the whole point. Is that if you're unsure, just do it with confidence, and you'll be good to go. Now, let's say, for example, that when I did this right here, a couple things that I did is I actually wrote down the price kind of real small, and then I wrote down how much it was a month and circled it real big. Then over here to the side, you can't really read my chicken scratch handwriting. What I did is I wrote the free items and how much they were worth, and I put free and I boxed it in. So that way it was, it's really powerful about how much they're getting for free. And I even say that amount there too. Then whenever I do the add-ons, I kind of put them under here as kind of like an extra. And I just kind of throw on there, hey, if you want to get the barbecue tools, only an extra 31 a month. If you want to get the flatware, it's only an extra 169 a month. So basically, what ended up happening is I took it from a $2,300 order to over $3,700 just by doing that. Or well, I guess what would it be, 200 more times 5? So yeah, so it'd be over $3,400. So if this was the order that we just did, that'd be about a 3,000 CPO order. You'd be 1/5 of your way towards a 15K push. Now here's the way it works. If they don't get that set, what you want to do is then drop down to the signature. And by dropping down to the signature, the way that you handle that transition is pretty simple. So you show them this, and you're doing this, and they're like, man, that's still a little bit too much. You say, I tell you what, Ms. Jones, if I could save you some money, would that be something that would interest you? Okay, cool. Well, here's what I'm going to do. To save you some money, I'm going to take out the top 10 knives that you're actually going to use the least. And by taking those out, we actually have something called our signature set. And the way the signature set works is it's all the basic tools that you see right here, but it also throws in the 3 specialty knives that you're going to use the most, plus the shears. Okay, so you're still going to get 10 table knives. You're still going to get that Hardy slicer, which is part of that utility set that I talked about. You're going to get the cheese knife, which is part of the entertaining set that I talked about, and you're going to get a petite santoku. So you're still going to have extra choppy knives. You're going to have an entertaining item, and you're still going to have the utility tools that you're going to use. So it still comes with all of that, and we just take out some of those other ones. The cool thing about that is if we take all that out, it actually allows us to drop the price over $500, and so it only would end up being, instead of being $509 today, it would only end up being $408. So did you want to, and in that case, you'd still be able to get the kitchen tools and the entertainer pack for free. And if you wanted to do the barbecue tool set on top, it'd only be another $31 too. Did you want to go ahead and do that? Now let's say, for example, that they don't do that situation. Let's say they say something along the lines of, hey, I like the basic set more. Or they say something like, well, I kind of like the basic set. Or you just know as you're going through it, they're just not feeling any of the specialty knives. Well, that's where you actually just flip to the normal names and uses that's going to be in your blue book. So the way that your book should look is pretty simple. It's all the way the same up until you get to your guarantee page, and then you flip and you got your names and uses page. After the names and uses page, you've got the ultimate and the homemaker kind of facing each other. And so that's kind of how you do it. And so if you're presenting, if you feel like you need to present the basic first, you go straight into your normal names and uses. You do that just like normal. You kind of present the both using that dual close that we passed out. Your managers also have it posted in their Google Drive so they can show it to you. So if you're unconfident or still uncomfortable going the ultimate, breaking it down into packages like I did and like Ben taught at the conference, well then just simply do your normal names and uses, get a yes on each tool, move on, and then sell the basic set. Okay? They're probably going to be more interested in the basic set the way you do it that way anyway. So if they say they're more into the basic set, you say, okay, perfect. And then at the end, if they decide to buy it, you can upsell it by simply saying, hey, Ms. Jones, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, for only a little bit more, basically an extra $45 a month, I can actually get you the entire signature set, which is kind of the in-between set. So instead of just having the 8 knives and 2 forks, we'll actually get you an extra 3 specialty knives that you're going to use on top of it, and it's going to come with the shears too, which is still good, and you're going to be able to get more free stuff instead of just getting, instead of just getting the entertainer pack or the barbecue tools. We'll actually hook you up with the entertainer pack and the kitchen tools, and we'll give you something else if you need it. Okay. And so you're kind of feeling out based on where it goes. And and so if you notice the way that I did the accessories is I walked through and I got them, kind of figured out which set they liked better. And then before I closed, before I even went over the first call special, I went through and asked them and showed them some of the accessories. Now, I didn't go off all over the specialty knives just because most of those are already in the complete set. So I didn't want to kind of spend too much time talking about it, because the more you talk about the specialty knives, the more some people are going to be like, I may not use that. you know. And so I just kind of skim through those, and then I get to the stuff they probably are going to want to add, which is going to be your flatware, maybe your cookware, gadgets, which is part of the entertainer pack, especially sporting knives, hunting knives, and all this stuff that's normally in the back. Okay, and whenever you add that on, and when instead of just doing the prices, you can just say we can just add that on for an extra 31. You just take it divided by 5, we can add it to your monthly payment for only this much a month. Okay? And so it's a very easy, simple add-on that you could do. And then at the end, when you close with confidence, break it down to how much it is a month, talk about how much that would be weekly, and relate it to a place where they probably spend money all the time. You know, if there's a restaurant nearby, if it's a family of 4 guys, they're going to spend $100 if they go out to eat at Longhorn or some other place, especially if any of them drink wine or alcohol of any kind. So, you know, that's the demo. That's got everything, including the clothes, pretty much all the packaging stuff that we talked about. Your managers have, you know, probably already ordered your cookware inserts and your flatware inserts and everything else that you need. But if you do need any other documentation, I'm sure they could get it from either myself or one of the other veteran districts. So, guys, use this stuff. Use these tips for your demo. Hopefully this helps you out. I'm so excited for the SC2 push. I'll see you at St. Augustine, Florida, the World Golf Village, raising a trophy, and you could thank me later in the form of bringing it for the push and, you know, helping us helping yourself get an interview with me during my my own personal push that I have, where I do on my management tour in August. So, guys, as always, no excuses to play like a champion. Have a great night. See you.